Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports for today's New Zealand team prediction for the quarterfinals this weekend up against Ireland. What it's actually going to be absolutely huge for both teams. We're talking about not a struggling New Zealand side. It's a weird way to describe this All Black side because yes, it's probably not the best All Black side we've ever seen, and they have had their struggles in the past few years. But to describe this team as struggling when they've only lost 2 games this year, and they've also beaten the one team that they lost pretty well, for example, and they've also then hammered a few teams the past few weeks. So it's weird to sort of call them struggling, but which is why I won't. But they're a side that are not as feared as they were 4 years ago. I think that's probably one of the better ways to put it. They're not as feared. Teams are going into competitions confident that they can contend with New Zealand. And this All Black side is trying to sort of get that authority back. But, that loss against South Africa, the loss against, France, for example, those sort of back-to-back losses, which don't really happen for the All Blacks, have sort of started to remove a little bit of that aura about them and that they are beatable. So an interesting side to sort of name for Ian Foster this weekend. Ireland have named their side, and so New Zealand will name their side a day later in the evening. We will be at the press conference. We will be bringing to you all the action to you guys live. Not the press conference itself, but we'll give you guys an update as soon as the team is announced, and we will be giving you guys, all the various updates from the team announcement press conference. So we'll be on the ground there tomorrow. But in terms of the team prediction, this is what I think we will see. It's not what I would pick necessarily, but it's what I think we will see. And obviously, we have to wait and see exactly what the final team will be. But I reckon this is probably where we're at here. So in terms of the front row, Ethan de Groot is set to return. His ban does come to an end. He will be available, and I expect him to play. And I think Cody Taylor, in fact, will start. I actually don't think they're going to go with Samisoni Takawau. I think that for this particular game, I think the Cody Taylor and Dan Coles can actually suit the game a bit better. Sakawao is a phenomenal player. He's a great player, in fact. And I thought that he was a sure and starter. But I think that in this game, I think the pace that, for example, of a Dan Coles and a Cody Taylor could actually hurt Ireland a bit more than the physicality of a Takawao. Interesting to see what they'll go with. But I think Cody Taylor's playing some of his best rugby ever. I think he's really sort of put himself back in the mix on merit. And I think that he will get the call up. Tua Lomax is set to be available, but I don't think they'll necessarily start him. I think there will be a bit of a query about him. So I'll go with Nepalur Lala to start. And in the second row, I've gone with Brody Retallick and Sam Whitelock. I'm sorry, and Brody, Scott Barrett rather. I've gone with Sam White off the bench. They've tended to do that a bit more in sort of the bigger games. I do tend to think that this is, where they're kind of at the moment. Brody Retallick, for me, has to start. You need that enforcer type thing. Same as the Shannon Brazil is going to start. They need that physicality. They need those two players who are going to get over the advantage line altogether with the likes of an Ali Severe. So I do think that they start. And obviously, I think Shannon Brazil starts. I've got a gut feeling that Sam Kane comes back to the starting lineup. I think they'll want his experience. Delta Papali's played really well. You've got Luke Jacobson floating around, for example, potentially. But I think that they'll go with Sam Kane in the 7. Artie Severe at 8 is a shoo-in. And if Sam Kane isn't involved, he'll take over the captaincy, I'm sure. Aaron Smith, for me, has probably been the best come off the group stages. He will start. And I think they'll go with Richie Mwanga. I personally would play Damian McKenzie. I think that you need a point of difference against Ireland. I think you need to roll the dice a little bit to a certain degree. I think that not to say that Richie Mwanga can't, do what Dan McKenzie can. Richie Mwanga is a quality fly half, one of the best in the world. Kicked flawlessly throughout, and I think that's why they'll go with him. I think he's a safe option. I think Damien McKenzie, which I think they will. I think he'll be in the 23. He does things that other players can't, and I think that you can't plan for Damien McKenzie like you can plan for Richie Mwanga. Who's a great attacking fly half. He's a New Zealand fly half. They've all got flair. But David McKenzie, just the way he plays, the offloads he creates, the chances he creates, he's a point of difference for me. And I think that for me it would be worth the risk. But I do think they'll go with Richie Mwanga. Martelea, Will Jordan, I don't think they're going to they're going to move away from the tried and tested wings they have gone with over the tournament. Jordy Barrett will keep the 12. Rico Awani at 13 and Bowden Barrett at 15. I think that's all pretty settled. For me, the only sort of question marks are Mwanga at 10, Sam Kane at 7, for example, on this team, maybe the lock combination. I think everything else is pretty settled. Off the bench, I said I've gone with Dan Coles. It could very well be Samisoni Takawau, and I can understand why they go with him. I just think that Dan Coles' pace and experience could really be useful. Off of Tonga Fasti, Tua Lomax, I've gone with as the two progressive props. Sam Whitelock and Dalton Papali'i will be completing the rest. And then you've got to go Cameron Roigard, haven't you? I mean, Finley Christie, good player, but Cameron Roigard for me is the next best sum off in the world. That's a huge shot, but I genuinely think once Aaron Smith, Anton Dupont, Faf de Klerk, because he is in that sort of caliber, as much as people might not like him. I've actually been to a lot of interest of international fans, and they all keep saying that they reckon Faf de Klerk is one of, if not the best scrum half in the world, next to after the Dupont and stuff. But when that sort of generation moves on, and not that like a lot of them, I mean, Anton Dupont's not even that old. I think Cameron Roygaard is the next best big thing. Very, very exciting player. I do think they then got Damien McKenzie and probably Anton Leonard Brown. They might have a think about Lester Fanganuka after what we saw last weekend. And now, well, why not really? What a quality player. David Havili as well as an option. So a couple of options there. They will go 5-3. I don't. We're not going to see a 6-2 split from the All Blacks. So they will go 5-3. And yeah, so those are sort of my sort of picks. Again, I would really like to see them brave it and play David McKenzie. I don't think they will, but that for me could be a very big risk, high reward, high risk, high reward sort of scenario. But yeah, let me know. Do you think down in the comments below? What changes would you make to this team? Do you think this will be the team? I want to know. And yeah, let me know what your score predictions are for the game as well. Please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven. Chat to you soon.